looks awesome. So cool. Hey guys, so this is SKYBOX from Blockade Labs. It creates 360 views from a prompt that you give to the AI of anything you want in a whole bunch of different styles. For instance, for this one I said create the interior of a futuristic spaceship cockpit using this surreal style, and it generates this 360-degree image which you can then download, and it's essentially an HDRI that you can use in your 3D projects by placing it on the inside of a sphere and placing your scene within it. So it's a great tool for 3D. So quickly we'll just try another prompt. Say create, you don't even have to write that, say make a colorful castle on a hill in the heavens. Keep that surreal style, right, remix this, and there you go. Got that 360 view, move it all around, more castles up there, view from all over. As you can see, you can rotate it in any direction. There's the main bottom point, top point. Yeah, and you can, use this for video games or to build a scene for anything, even for movies or whatever content you might be creating. They got a whole list of different, styles that you can use to download. So you can select cyberpunk instead, click generate with the same prompt. Now we got a super sci-fi version of that same thing, kind of Star Wars-y iteration of that. But here the prompt was the center of a park in futuristic Paris, and realistic mode, and it made this kind of crazy scene. Maybe that's the Louvre over there, I don't know. And using that same prompt, now we got a super sci-fi version of that same thing, kind of Star Wars-y iteration of that. And then what else is really cool, if I clear this and start a new one, you can actually use this little paintbrush here to draw out the scene that you might be imagining. So say we want to build some skyscrapers or something like that. You don't have to be an artist to do this. You can draw as terribly as you can possibly imagine, and it'll still be able to make something with whatever you draw. Then you click this hand button and you can continue to rotate around. And draw whatever you want. It can be an atmosphere, it can be the inside of a car, it can be, anything that you can imagine. And like I said, the drawing can be as terrible as you want. As you can see, I'm not trying very hard here at all. I'm just going to draw a few more random buildings. And some super tall ones. And just to show you how terrible these drawings can be, let's say we're in the center of a park in futuristic Paris. And you pick a new style. Again, it can be anything you want. We'll try oil painting maybe for this one. Or no, let's try something crazy like super art. I don't know. I don't even know what this is, but we'll try it. That didn't turn out very well. Let's try it. Let's try realistic. So here the prompt was center of a park in futuristic Paris, and realistic mode, and it made this kind of crazy scene. You know, maybe that's the Louvre over there, I don't know. But yeah, you can use the same prompt and try out all these different kinds of styles. You can make those crappy drawings if you want, or just type in the prompt and let it generate whatever it wants randomly. The drawings are great because you can use them to create kind of the same scene in different styles, and then, you know, kind of cycle through them if that's something you wanted to do. But let's try another one. Let's try inside of a futuristic casino in the surreal style. Let's try it inside of a futuristic casino with this advanced no style. I don't know what this does. There you go. There's a wild casino, 360 view. I bet the oxygen levels are crazy in this place. Alright, let's create Scottish castles on the hillside in this low poly style, which you can use to generate maybe a background for a low poly video game that you're making. There you go. You got this awesome low poly Minecraft looking background of, you know, these awesome Scottish castles with low poly trees and ground and that kind of stuff. And then let's try this negative text thing. You can tell it not to make something. So let's say you don't want any trees in this scene. For instance, let's see if that works. Don't include any trees. Try remixing that. This one's really awesome. This came out great. And there you go. All the trees changed into castles in the snow. Oh, there's a snow-covered tree. We won't sell anybody though. So yeah, this can be a great tool for anybody that needs backgrounds for any kind of scenes. Again, for video games, product shoots, photo shoots. You know, backgrounds for your animations, you know, just using the background scenes for something that you can draw on top of. I'm gonna try one more thing, try and get a completely different view on there. Alright, let's hit create new. Alright, so we're gonna hit create new and then clear everything on here. And then I'm gonna draw some little huts, I guess. Little squares for houses. I'm gonna let my mouse down. And again, you don't have to be an artist at all for this. The AI will take whatever drawing that you make and turn it into something really neat. So for this, I'm just gonna do these little crappy boxes, draw them all over the place. And I'm going to type in Adobe Village of Navajos in the Garden of the Gods. Do this low poly setting, generate. Wow, that looks awesome. So cool. Got your little, oh wow, Adobe temple here mixed in with the canyons and the mountains. This one came out so cool. So what you can do if you make something that you like, you just hit this download button. and it'll download whatever you made. No, that's not working. So this is SKYBOX by Blockade Labs, and it creates this 360 view of all these different worlds based on an AI prompt. So you just hit get started here. You can either draw something with the paintbrush or just leave it blank, and then type in a prompt like Adobe Village in the Garden of the Gods, and select any one of these styles. I like this surreal style, some little 360 view of the Garden of the Gods with a little Adobe hut, which you can then download, and it'll save the 360 view as a JPEG, which you can use as an HDRI, background for any of your animations, a background for your 3D scenes, or content creation, or anything you really want. There's tons of styles in this drop-down menu that you can create stuff from, in all different styles. Like, for instance, I'll use this same prompt and use this dreamlike style, hit generate again. And here's another iteration of that Adobe Village. Looks incredible. Yeah, and so you just download the ones you like, it'll save it as a JPEG. And this is what the JPEGs look like of the full 360 view. And then you can use this in any 3D program and set it as, to wrap around a sphere. And when you're inside of that sphere, it just looks like a complete 360 view of any scene that you want to create. Very cool. So you can also use this paintbrush tool to do anything that you like with it. So say you wanted, a bunch of circles or something like that in the sky. The AI will turn those circles, depending on which style you use, into either planets or windows on the inside of a submarine, or trees, or whatever it thinks would be good. And you can try using the generate tool multiple times to get a result that you like, generating stuff over and over again. Move around with this little hand and draw anything that you want on any part of the sky or where the floor would be or whatever. And the drawings don't have to be good at all. They can be absolutely terrible, as you can see. It's just a reference point for the placement of image features that the AI wants to put. So I can use that same prompt and hit generate again. As you can see, it kind of places whatever it might want to put anywhere where those circles were that I drew. So here's the overlay of that thing. So anywhere that you drew stuff, it kind of uses those lines or whatever as barriers, to kind of make a little scene. So here's the whole 3D scene for that. And what's cool about that is, say I download this, and then I want to use the same drawing to make the interior of a futuristic casino in this, what do you think, cyberpunk style. And it'll use that same drawing and generate another HDRI image that will have those circles and lines and squares that I drew as reference points, but it'll create a whole nother completely different scene. Now we got the inside of this casino, and as you can see, it still has all those circles that I made in the same place to make a whole new completely different scene. Instead of an interior, or instead of an exterior, we got an interior now. Very cool. Alright, let's make a McDonald's play place with a ball pit and a slide in this cartoon style. Realistic McDonald's. This is an Egyptian temple with hieroglyphics covering the walls using the Fantasyland setting. Alright, we're going to try the interior of a spaceship cockpit decorated like the Palace of Versailles in this nebula style, whatever that means. So here's the Palace of Versailles with this dreamlike setting. We're in a little garden in the center, completely surrounded by the palace. Looks awesome. Again, in any part of this would be great for, say, a cartoon background, just as a still, or, you know, moving it around for inspiration for paintings or anything really. Let's try bikini bottom in low poly. Fail. Okay, this is the Red Square and Orthodox churches in Moscow in this low poly setting. Incredible. Complete 360 view using my prompt, combining the style with whatever I typed in, made this awesome low poly red square. It just looks so good. So then you can then download this just by hitting this download button, and it'll download the JPEG, which has a full 360-degree view. That looks like this. Here's what the JPEG images of the 360 views look like. They're just a wide, horizontal kind of panoramic view, but the right side fits right into the left side, so it's an endless, seamless pattern in that manner. Here's the cockpit I made. Here's the Garden of the Gods. Here's the Egyptian temple. Here's the Red Square in Moscow. There's this dreamlike castle scene that is just showing the back in the visibility panel. And then you create an image material layer, and as you'll see, it fills the inside of the sphere. So essentially when you zoom in and you move around inside the sphere, you're completely surrounded by by this SKYBOX image that you created, and you can create your entire scene on the inside of this sphere. If you wanted, you could also use a cube or an oval or any shape really, and set it to back view instead of front. And you can use all the awesome 360-degree views that you made in SKYBOX and set it as the image material. I really like the way that one Moscow scene looked, so I'm gonna select that and use it as the interior. So cool. Now if you wanted, you can take this little low poly car that kind of is the same art style and just place it within the sphere itself, adjust, you know, its placement or whatever, its size, all that stuff. And you can start to build like a little 3D scene, like say this little red area down here is a road. This is a crappy way of doing it, but you get my idea. Then at least from this angle, you got a little car driving on that road in that low poly, low poly style.
Baby, you give me ice and fire.
Have him drive down the road. Yada yada. Don't leave the sphere.
You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my ass.
And you got him on the road down there. Driving along.
Oh, I don't wanna jinx it, baby. And twist myself at the spine.
On this little road. Or spin him around. Take him and put him down there. On that road. Parked over on this road. Yada yada. So you get the idea. I haven't figured out quite the best way to use this yet, but as you can imagine, this can be used in a lot of really cool ways in Spline. Let's try one more thing. Delete this sphere here, this car, and I'll just make a backdrop instead, which you can then add image material to, same way. Upload the image, use this temple. Yeah, and then you can just, set it and use it as a background, just as a flat background. Or you can make a little floor and set the image to the floor and adjust it how you want to. It's like kind of a 3D style, anyway you can imagine, but just on a back surface. So, hope this was helpful. Let me know how you guys are using this. If I figure out some more cool ways, I'll definitely update you guys on how I'm using it. But I can't wait to see how different 3D artists are gonna start using this in all sorts of new fun, funky ways. If you create something cool, please drop the link in the comments below so everyone can see it. I'm really excited to see what you guys do with this. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, guys.